Hi Taurus, here's a general look at your solar chart for August 2011, and I think the focus is very much going to be on the base of operations. So that's the home base, or maybe it's somewhere where you are in temporarily, but very much wanting to enjoy the energies around to do with family relationships, the beauty of your surroundings maybe, or maybe it's you wanting to enhance the beauty of your surroundings, whether that's inside or outside. So physically enjoying the things, there's a likelihood of that because there's a nice stream of friendly, warm Venusian energy in that area there up until the 22nd, but even after the 22nd, it still is very much in that kind of mode. But the focus is going to be on the inner circle, the private base of operations, closeness, intimacy with nearest and dearest, extended family, tribe, or in fact from home over the wires. This is a good time for you to sort out how you are inside as well, because the focus is going to be on, your inner feelings, and also paying very close attention to maybe what your emotional guidance is telling you, what your gut is telling you. If you feel out of sorts, or if there's a has been maybe a disharmonious situation going on in this private area, conflicts there, then it's a very good time to iron out problems, and something to make you feel better isn't going to be too far away. But even so, you could be harking back to the past, maybe feeling a bit nostalgic or sentimental at times. Maybe there's going to be people around you haven't seen for a very long time. It's very sociable energy around as well, and lots of chatting going on. Maybe in some way the past is reincarnating itself in the present. Maybe you're having more of awareness of tradition or history or the ancestors, and some of you could be having a lot more involvement or contact with young people, children, or lovers, romantic partners as well, and have more access to anything which is kind of delightful, kind of fills your heart. So that could be to do with lovers or children, but it could also be to do with you pursuing an activity, a hobby, a pastime, that you just enjoy, that you do because you enjoy it. It might even be work, but you do it because you just enjoy doing it. So it looks as though there's going to be, laughs and sharing along the way. You should feel valued by others, or you should be valuing something that you have in your space or outside of your space, whether that's the way you've got it set up, or the way you're improving it, or in fact the people in that space. And also perhaps a little bit more paperwork, maybe more flitting around, visiting, milling around, mixing and mingling in a community of some kind. Might be travel, more travel as well, and education, creative self-expression, artistic type work, that could be going on more because of where Mars is at the moment. So running more hither and thither, but also, a lot going on in your mind as well, meeting and greeting perhaps more. But Mercury is actually going retrograde from the 3rd to the 26th. And that just means that if you are working, on a creative project, or with any involvement with children or lovers or anything, any speculative activity or leisure activity, any of the things that I've just mentioned, suddenly you might go off in another direction, or you just have to, something happens and you just kind of follow up on that. You don't quite know where it's going to lead. But you just do it because you just kind of feel that string pulling you, and it seems like the right thing to do. So whether this is in a love relationship, or whether this is in another area, then even though you can't see the end result, you just have to kind of follow the breadcrumb path in a way. And it won't be until the 26th onwards that you'll begin to see how it's all shaping up and what the likely outcome is going to be. Okay? Now, every month I mentioned the slower moving planets. That's from Jupiter outwards, and they don't move a lot from month to month. But Jupiter is a very important one for you at the moment, Taurus, because it's in your sign. And it only comes around once every 12 years. So this is really going to be your chance to seize the day. You know, this planet is going to usher in a cycle of expansion across the board for you. And learning through doing and through directly experiencing maybe unusual scenarios, plunging into so-called strange situations is right up Jupiter's street, because this is broadening you, this is widening your scope. So some of you may be travelling more over these many months Jupiter is here until into 2012. You rubbing shoulders with those from very different backgrounds or different viewpoints. You may be getting interested in an academic area. You may be having a great valuable teaching coming to you either directly or just through learning through doing, you know, and experiencing. Also you being a consultant perhaps more as the sage yourself, as the advisor yourself. Generally with Jupiter you should be you know, on the merry-go-round of life, reaching up for the golden ring. And because you know, the cards are stacked in your favour that you just get it during these months. And this is a time for you to be exploring new possibilities and feeling that the air is promise crammed with new possibilities. So checking some of those out. The only problem with Jupiter would be that you get too much on your plate, you know, and then you've got to kind of sift it and filter it and go for what feels the best to you see. Now, Saturn as well, you may or may not know, is in your area of work and health until autumn 2012. This means that you're into a cycle of really working harder at health and fitness, but also the job, the daily chores, being of service. And there's a real regularity, a real routine feeling about this. If it's to do with health, then being very consistent and self-disciplined with foodstuffs, looking for the best there to make improvements, what you're putting through your body, but also what you're doing with your body. So exercise regimes in some way, therapeutic practices, but also with daily tasks, you know, this routine feeling, and also sometimes you actually, this learning through doing year for you, then you actually adding a new string to your bow, because you're learning new stuff, you're training either officially or unofficially, just by having to adapt to the changing of the details of things and figuring it out and seeing what works best. But being of service, being there for others, and having to be quite, as I say, self-disciplined, persevering, plugging away, and slowly upgrading things, honing skills, learning new ones, and getting good at, you know, whatever it is you do, and being more sensible about diet and exercise as well. So this is really the Stitch in Time Saves 9 position of Saturn, and it means that you just have to keep at it. You've got to, if it's to do with skills, keep practicing. So slowly you begin to see the fruits of your labours, but nothing happens fast wherever Saturn is. And at times, if it's to do with the job, you know, health providers, co-workers, they may kind of feel annoying or resisting or blocking. And again, you know, this is just a test of character in a way, but it's also teaching you new things about dealing with people. And maybe in some cases you think, you know what, I've had it with this, I'm going to go and do something else, and learning new techniques and methods and ways of working, because it just is the next step, and it's just the inevitable next step. So we're going to be improving things slowly but surely over this period. Now, for several years, Uranus it's in the sign before yours, so it's going to be working very subtly from behind the scenes, in the background, helping you to tie up loose ends from the past. It's almost as though, you know, things are breaking down, not in a bad way, but in a natural, evolutionary way. Past certain doors are closing, and you are letting go of maybe certain bad habits. It can be because this is also about your historical sort of experience and your conditioning. So letting go of certain affirmations that you may have carried around with you all your life, which were no longer appropriate, maybe never were. Maybe squaring up to anything counterproductive in your behavior, your expectations, your presumptions. So getting squared up with that, and hopefully, and also another thing about Uranus here is a very experimental, innovative energy. It's very alternative. It's very unconventional. So maybe, and also it's in the house of higher service for a long time for you. So maybe in your service to others, you're bringing in elements which are not mainstream, which are a little bit wacky to others, you know, and strange and weird, and looking into all of that. Maybe connecting with a higher frequency intelligence, or using light energy, and maybe working with a group of others from behind the scenes. This is also another way it can work. Who are working for a common good in some way. It could also mean that you get stronger dreams. You know, your dream life is triggered, and you can get sudden flashes of insight into other dimensions as well. And that can be when you're asleep or when you're awake. Now, another slow mover, Neptune, is moving back into the edge of your career sector until next February. So that might, again, for you late Taurians or very early Taurians, bring a certain confusion, or confusion about your position in a hierarchy or with the career, or uncertainty about your role and your direction. You know, because certain things are going on, and that what was clear and easy to see is now, you know, there's some ifs and buts and maybes coming in there now. And so it can mean that others are seeing you in a way which isn't actually what you are, what you really are. You're not getting the recognition that you would like. But also, this is very good for putting ego on one side, so charitable work, philanthropic work, and excellent for artistic work, anything particularly to do with music, but any of the arts, and also spirituality, healing, and the like. And you two Taurians born in the last couple of days, or the last couple of degrees of Taurus rising, but also the first day and the first degree of Taurus rising, going to feel this influence mostly this month. And now Pluto for many years is in an extremely beneficial angle to your sun sign, and that's slowly, subtly facilitating gear shifts, deepening your experience, deepening you and maturing you emotionally. And this is just a natural process, but there will be some letting go that will have to happen, because that's the nature of Pluto, the rebirth planet. And in order to rebirth, we've got to let go of a previous set of conditions or way of being. So as old doors close, new doors open. And partly this could be related to a new area of academic interest, spiritual interest, just a new area of interest, whatever that is, but also connecting with those at a distance, travel, a foreign culture, higher laws, and it also could be the human laws as well. It could be about, for some reason or other, you've got to know what your legal position is on this, that, or the other at certain times. But again, this is a very, as I say, positive angle to your sun sign, so it should just kind of unfold in the way it should. And you Taurians born the 22nd to the 27th of April, and with 3 to 6 degrees of Taurus rising, will feel this influence most this month. And from the 23rd, well, again, you're going to be, this lighter, more creative, even romantic frame of mind, particularly from the 26th, and maybe have more opportunities to party, or at least to enjoy yourself at whatever it is you're doing, and really getting a lot out of that. And that's it for August. If you know your rising sign, listen to that too. It will add to or subtract from what I've said here. And I'll see you the next time.